So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these ingredients and I'm going to put them in water. I have these chicken backs. So I go to Whole Foods and they sell just the backs so that you can make stock. The key to this stock is that it's got a high concentration of chicken flavor, which means we need a lot of bones. So I'm putting 6 of the backs in the pot. And then I'm going to add other vegetables, carrots, you can add leeks, you can add garlic if you want. I don't prefer to. We need some onions, just cut them up in hunks and put them in the pot. I have some fresh parsley and some celery and then some bay leaves. I do not season the stock. I leave it unseasoned because depending on what I use it for, I may want to season it one way or another. So I never season my stock, but if you want, you could add salt and pepper. So essentially everything is just in this pot. We're going to add some water and then we're going to get going. Now I've added all the ingredients and I've filled it up with water, which I just spilled all over. It's important to use cold water. Okay, so we've got the chicken bones and the vegetables in the water brought up to a boil. Take a look at how slowly it's boiling. It's kind of going blub, blub, blub. And that's what you want. You want it at a really slow boil for about 4 or 5 hours. Okay, now here's the next thing you're going to do. You see the fat on the top? You're just going to try and skim that off. And what we're doing is we are skimming off the fat and the impurities. Any little foam at the top, you want to get rid of that as well. Okay, so here we are after a good hour. And this is how our chicken stock looks. All right, now let's continue to defat the chicken. I've taken some more of the fat out so you can see the stuff on the top is the fat, the stuff on the bottom is the chicken broth, and I'll show you how to put that back in the pot. All right, we're going on 4.5 hours. This is looking pretty good. As you can see, we've reduced the pot about halfway, and I think we're about ready to strain the vegetables and the bones out of the liquid and then return the liquid back to the pot. Okay, so we drained all of that fat. Remember how we skimmed all that fat off the top of the chicken stock while it was cooking? And you can see it's almost all fat, but there's a little bit of the good stuff, the chicken broth, that we want to keep. But how do we get that out of the bottom of that? So what you do is you use a turkey baster. You put it down and you suck out the good stuff, just the very good stuff on the bottom, not the fat, and then add it back into your chicken stock. Do that until all you have left is the fat. Now I'm going to take a strainer and strain this, remove all of the vegetables and the bones, and take the remaining liquid and put it back into this pot. So this is the chicken stock after we've let it cool overnight. And I want to show you something. The stock is sort of gelatiny. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me show you. It's kind of has like a quality of jello, sort of jello-like. That's good. That means it's concentrated and it's going to have tons of flavor. We've skimmed most of the fat off of it, but there's a little bit of fat along the rim. And I'm going to show you how to get rid of that. You take a piece of paper towel and just set it in the very surface of the chicken stock so that it's like that. And then simply pull it out. And then look, it picks up all of that extra last fat. It picks up all of that extra fat. Pull that away, and now what you've got is really good chicken stock. Oop, there's a little bit more. Oh, there's a little bit more. Let's take this and dab it. Yeah, all right, we got it. All right, last but not least, you're gonna portion out your stock. You wanna either put it in a small cup, like a small plastic cup, like this, and then wrap it and freeze it, or put it in a paper cup, a little Dixie cup, and again, wrap it up and freeze it. Do that so that it's easy for you to work with it when you want to use it. If you put it in a paper cup and it's frozen, you can just tear the cup away from it and then add it to anything that you want. If you put it in a plastic cup, then you're going to have to run the outside of the plastic cup in hot water, just enough to melt it so it falls out of the cup. Either way, if you portion out your chicken stock, it's going to be a lot easier to work with. If you freeze it in one big bowl, then you have no choice but to thaw the whole thing. And you don't want to have all that stock thawed at the same time unless you're making a huge amount of something. So I hope you try it. It's really worth the investment of time. So that's it. Now you've made chicken stock.